Yeah, let's get into it. I'm surprised I even have a voice left after being at that game. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna get right to it. That was stupid. Play stupid games, win some stupid ass prizes. I know I told you don't get off the ride yet. Tonight I'm off the ride. Yep, that was the one right there. That's the one that broke me. Yep, we'll go through it. But it's gotten to a point now. I can't justify it. I don't understand it. And I don't understand the New York Yankees. I don't understand Aaron Boone's decisions. I don't know if they're coming from the top, coming from Brian Cashman. Like it is a perplexing Pegasus. I'm off that perplexing. I'm done. I'm off the roller coaster. I'm off the ride, and I'll explain to you tonight why. The math isn't mathing. These guys play these stupid games as if they have time. The New York Yankees waste all of our time. They waste their teammates' time, or they wasted Devin Williams' teammates' time. They wasted the team's time tonight, the fans' time tonight. As expensive as those tickets are to get in the building on a Friday night, 46,000 plus there on the return of Old Timers Day, the game eve. So you know the old timers are in town, the ghosts are active. You can't get in there for, less than $100. We got these goofy ass Astro fans that are comfortable here. If they're the ones that are from New York, which they exist, we know that from the postseason, or ones that made the trip here, they've been here plenty of times. We have history with Houston. I've been there all of those times. I was there in 2015 for the wild card, 2017, 2019, 2022. If there's one team, right, that you should look at for your fans, like, hey, we must win this game. We got to fight to win this game. And you were in that game. You came back. Like, the way that the night started, Friday night in the Boogie Down Bronx, right? I did get a little alert that made me say, no, but it is what it is, right? Giancarlo Stanton will probably be in right field tomorrow or the next day. It is what it is. They need offense. And as you watch that game tonight, you could tell they needed offense. But you let Cam Schlittler down. That young man is in a tough spot as a whole rookie, as a young guy facing the Houston Astros. He wasn't there for those battles of the past. And the casual Yankee fans that exist in our fan base, there's a ton of them, that just showed up tonight to boo the Astros, chant F Altuve. They don't know that Altuve's having a hell of a year. They don't even know that Correa batting right behind him is back. They're like, oh, when did they get Carlos Correa? He's back? So there's a lot of goofballs that showed up tonight to chant F Altuve, as they've done for the last 4 years. And that gives that little Mighty Mouse some power. Yeah, that little bugger hears you cursing his family name, and he makes you pay every single time. I was in the bleachers in 203. Shout out to AJ and Big Justice. We bring the boom. Those guys came through for the roll call. And we couldn't even get through Ben Rice, until some goofballs behind us and around us were boo, F Altuve. Clocks one out to left field. And I'm like, you can't make this up. Just like that, we're down 2-0. Just like that, we're down 2-0. Bad vibes, bad mojo, and you've seen it with those orange jerseys in there. You've seen it with that team in it. It doesn't matter who they have on that team. Some familiar faces, but same vibes. But you know what? The Yankees overcame that. The Yankees overcame that little deficit. They fought, right? The first game back in the Bronx with some new additions on the team after they rallied in Texas, and, they showed us some fight. Okay, on Apple TV, where a lot of Yankee fans couldn't watch. Maybe you listen to Dave and Susan here. They actually fought back in that sixth inning. In that sixth inning, I was yelling, send him, Luis Rojas. We can't score. Send him. Whatever. Ryan McMahon walked. Austin Wells had one of the better at-bats I've seen from Austin Wells in a long time. He doubles, and they hold McMahon, but then Ben Rice smokes one, and we get on the board. And then you know what? Aaron Judge, we're waiting for Judgy to come back and get right. And boom, clutch. Aaron Judge singles, ties the game. And now the stadium is alive. All of those people out there in the boogie down Bronx on a Friday night waiting for something to yell about, clap about. The cowbell man came out tonight. Shout out to Milton. Pulled up with Milton, had the cowbell ringing off in 2:03. But we couldn't really get too much going. And then late in that game, I know I was paying attention because I'm like, okay, we went to Yuri De Los Santos, and shout out to him. He's low-key been solid for a guy that we kind of forgot about this year. I mean, he's been more solid than the guy I'm going to get to in a minute. Camilo Doval, right? At that point, I'm honestly thinking in the 7th inning, right, the switch to go to Camilo Doval after the Jose Altuve walk. Okay, because Altuve had killed us, and it's like, hey, maybe you don't want De Los Santos to get over 30 pitches and, taking it slow with him just coming back. It worked out. Doval is able to get Christian Walker swinging. And so you're feeling like, all right, we're in this, man. It's a new game, 2-2. We can win this game. We're at home, right? We're trash in extra innings on the road, but we're at home. And you know what? The bullpen has been repaired some. And we shook off that loss last Friday in Miami. We can win this game. How crucial would it be to win this one? Especially if you're like me, who is in there listening to the Met game, preparing for my show tonight, but then also looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, looking at the scores, and thinking about the standings in the American League. The game keeps going. In my head, I'm thinking, right, okay, Weavy Wonder, Luke Weaver comes out there, right? And even with Luke Weaver gets the job done, but I'm just in my head, I'm thinking there's no way in hell they're going to go to Devin Williams. I got to be the silliest rabbit. I'm actually thinking they'll go to any. I'm thinking, I can't see the bullpen budget. It's on Apple TV tonight. But to hell with a bullpen budget. They had a day off. Enough already. Are you serious? I'm, leaving the Hard Rock, saying my piece to people. And I put up a video on my Twitter. I said, should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Right. And, I stayed for Aaron Judge to pop out. Cody Bellinger lined out. Jazz popped out. And then I looked on the TV and I saw Devin Williams was warming up. And I hit the 40-yard dash to the parking lot. I sprinted. I ran away so fast from Yankee Stadium to get in my car. And by the time I got into my car and turned the radio on to listen to Dave and Susan, and I'm sorry, Susan, that you have to sit there and go through this. I could hear it in your, it's just, by the time I could get in the car, I wasn't even out of the parking lot yet. Carlos Correa singles, and the Houston Astros take the lead 3-2. You can hear the boos on the radio. And of course, you could probably have heard the boos in Yankee Stadium as soon as they warmed up, which is, again, I go back to what is going on, yo? What is the thought process? How is this happening over and over and over and over and over? Did I say over 8 times? They have died with Devin Williams on the mound at least 8 times. He's blown at least 8 games. I thought we were done pitching him late in games. I thought we were done pitching him in a tied game. I thought we were done pitching him even with a lead or in high leverage. I for damn sure thought we were never going to see this guy come out on a Friday night in the boogie down Bronx. You can't pitch him in Yankee Stadium. He's probably getting heckled. I wasn't out there by the time he came in because I got to make a run for it to get here. I don't know. I got to tap in with the creatures. There were people probably heckling him while he was warming up. It's malpractice. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have the time. And I don't have the time anymore. I told you guys a bunch of times, I'll tell you when to get off the ride. when I'm getting off the ride, a lot of you have gotten off already. A lot of you sitting back right now laughing like, can't fix stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I already got off the ride, Keith. No, I'm off the ride, bro. Because, like, just look at the standings. Look at how close other teams are to the wild. There are 2 teams very close to the Yankees for the wild card, and the Yankees manage these games, and they play these stupid games as if they got time. It is August 8th. I can't believe y'all did that the night before we bring the Old Timers Day game back. Derek Jeter was right. I never questioned Derek Jeter's decision. I was on this microphone. I heard all the hosts talk about it. What did I say? Hey, leave Jeets alone. He was right. He was right. He chose family time. Not coming up there. Not flying up there for that. That energy is all off. I'm tired as hell, bros. I don't think I'm going tomorrow. They killed me tonight. That one broke me. That was the one that broke me tonight because it didn't have to go that way. Fool me can't fool me again and again and again. Now let's focus on Devin Williams. Devin Williams is a broken man. Devin Williams is no good. And they just want to so badly get the Devin Williams that they traded for, or that he was a couple years ago, or at points of last year. Maybe Pete Alonso did break him. I know if you follow me, I just posted on my Instagram and Twitter. Shout out to my boy Gabe, who clipped the video and made it to me May 6th. I was done with him on May 6th because I said it's impossible for this guy to overcome it and be what you want him to be. When you traded for him, he said he thought he was getting traded to the Dodgers. He wasn't pumped up about being a New York Yankee. He wasn't excited to come here and take on the challenge. I smell, is that you, Devin? I could smell it again. He's not ready for it. You just saw David Bednar. I'm pitching David Bednar. Well, I would have probably pitched David Bednar after. You know what I'm saying? But I would have pitched anyone. Lahedrick, Hill, Leiter. Put a position player on the mound before you go and throw us back into this nightmare. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, we were short down there. And no, you set us up for failure again to try to build up Devin Williams, a guy who didn't want to be here, a guy who's soft as baby S, because we changed the beard policy. And I was for that because it had to change at some point. But like, you really did it. The impetus, the poster boy was because the airbender shaved and everybody responded to the way he looked. And when he was asked about it, it wasn't his preference. And you know what? Shout out to Judgy for saying, hey, like, if that's something that you can't do, then you probably can't handle it here. You probably can't be here. He was right. All the signs are there. Here we are on August 8th, still doing this. And for what? He's not signing here. You could give him the Juan Soto contract. He ain't taking it. What? Like, and why would you? And this is where I'm really like, I'm losing it, bro. I'm sorry, I'm crashing out, bro. Like I've been thinking about this. I was driving in the car by myself from Yankee Stadium down here, and I was turning the radio off. I was listening to the Mets lose. I was putting notes together. I don't get it. You can't tell. This has to be Aaron Boone. And if it's Aaron Boone, damn, Aaron Boone's got hella job security, no fear of anything. You play with fire, you're gonna get burned. You touched the stove that many times. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Aaron, do you love Devin Williams? You got a personal relationship with him? Is he your boy? Like, I don't get it. That you're willing to let us all down. And they tried to rally. It pissed me off even more that they did score. I'm in the car listening, and they scored. I'm like, wow. Like, anybody could have given up the 1 run. The Yankees went and got that 1 run back that would have tied it, but you let Devin Williams in another game give up another home run. It is insanity doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But back to now, Cashman. Cashman solved this problem at the deadline. He added 3 relievers. I know they sent Jake Bird down, but you can't tell me after an off day that you didn't come up with a plan. You can't tell me that you guys had this much time. You made it out of Texas without being swept. I was taking calls last week where the fan base was ready to fire Aaron Boone. I'm not calling for any man's job. I see people write online, oh, Keith should be fired. Wait till they get rid of him. I would never call for a man's job. But for the life of me, I don't understand how your job is to go out there and fight and scratch and call for every win. You don't have time. You are managing like this is May. You don't have the time that you think you have. This team has to win at a winning percentage the rest of the way to make the postseason that they haven't played at since the beginning of the year. You understand what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down, why I'm off the roller coaster tonight? Because you could have possibly taken that game, and the momentum that would have come from beating the Astros and your fans singing Frank Sinatra on the way out and partying in the streets going into Old Timers Day, you blew it, and you let Devin Williams blow it. Aaron Boone, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed because you managed your ass off the last game in Texas. And I just don't know. I don't know. Is Aaron Boone a puppet? Is he taking the orders from up top? I don't know anymore. I don't have a take. I don't even have an opinion. None of it makes sense because Brian Cashman gave you some other arms. You had other options. But again, you painted us into a corner. The maze led us back to Devin Williams blowing another game. Enough is enough. I would have done anything as manager to avoid that. Have him be the first guy out of the bullpen. He's broken. He is not the guy. And you don't owe anything to this guy. You owe it to us, the fans, that pay all that money, that show up there, that are still riding with you, that still have hope. You owe it to those players, man. Volpe was throwing the ball tonight. I said, I joked about it. I said, hey, every time Volpe makes a play, I'm fired up. Because I was a little worried about Volpe coming back to the Bronx and how he would play in Yankee Stadium. Volpe got right? Like, they fought, man. You let us down, man. You let us down with a guy that means nothing to us. He's the poster boy for the beard policy and blown games. I can't take it, yo. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And none of it makes sense, yo. None of it makes sense. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of it, yo. I'm tired of it. It doesn't make sense. And you know what? The math must be different for the Yankees. I don't know how many games they think they got left. I don't know who they think they're competing with in their own division, in the American League. They must think, oh, it's a soft American League. They must think we're the New York Yankees. You're not. You could barely score. You could barely score 2 runs tonight. You're about to put Giancarlo Stanton in right field because you need his bat. This new collections of players, yeah, on paper they're good, but they got to come together as a team. And you know what you do? You count against them every time you put Devin Williams on the mound. He throws 2 pitches. He hasn't had command. He hasn't been good. I don't know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to break us. You broke me tonight. You did that. Because I've been trying to ride. I've been trying to stay positive. Hey, it's a long season, but you know what? I posted the proof. I was out on Devin Williams in May. I'm like, it ain't going to work. The pinstripes are too heavy for me. He ain't cut out for it here. We're coming off a World Series. This team's got to get back. $300+ million payroll, players in their prime, a Brian Cashman pivot to add guys like Belly, add guys like Fried, Goldie, and then at the deadline again, add Ryan McMahon, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Caballero, Jake Bird. I know Jake Bird is sent down, but I ain't worried about that. You know, Camilo Duvall, David Bednar, you got the pieces. But you managed to blow another game for the sake of getting Devin Williams right, or Devin Williams has to pitch, or you got to build Devin Williams' confidence up. No, because I know how this team moves. And you know, it was funny because I just got in here and I turned on the Yes Network and I laughed my ass off. They got Boone on Talking Yanks right after the post game. Like, and it's the Boone episode where Boone is defeated, talking about like we got to deal with some hard truths. We'll deal with the hard truth tonight. You put a guy on that mound that hasn't had it in weeks. You put a guy on that mound that all he does is blow games. So what did you expect? None of us expected that to go well. We expected to lose. And you keep losing and playing around like this, you're going to miss the postseason. And that is a fireable offense. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the fan. I'm going to take a break, get some water. When I come back, we'll talk about the Mets. Tough for the Mets. You know, the Frank the Tank quote is always teasing, never pleasing. I'm in there tonight, and I'm putting my notes together. I'm listening to the call, and I'm like, wow, Juan Soto, back-to-back at bats. He homers. Wow. Delo Mio, Marte, Platano Power. He homered. I'm like, the Mets they're up right now. And Kodai Senga happened, and Brooks Raley happened. And, just one bad inning happened. And in Milwaukee against the quote-unquote best team in baseball, a team like they're not going to lose that game. All they need is to go up by 1, and that's all that it would take to beat the Mets 3-2. And, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that game. Also not good enough for the Mets. I know the Mets are in a little bit better standing in second place in the wild card, but, like, Yo, there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of time to be blowing games, to be going through the motions, thinking it's all right, it's all right. Before you look up, in 2 months, it's a wrap, bro. So call me up. We'll talk about the Yankees first. When we come back, I'll hit you with some more stuff that I wrote down and thought about this Mets game against the. They had to get that one. I mean, against Woodruff, whatever. Like he's probably the best pitcher from Milwaukee that you're going to face this weekend. You don't know how the rest is going to go, but going up 2-0 in that game, I felt like the Mets had to get that one to get right. How many outs have you seen the Mets be no hit now in the last? They're going on like 50 outs in their last like 3 games that they've been no hit. It's insane. The New York baseball sucks. We might as well get all fired up and start talking ourselves into the Jets and Giants being good before that crashes out in a month or 2 months. Keith McPherson on the Fan, 888-808-1019. I'll be right back. Yeah, Philly's probably not slowing down and giving that up. I was right in May. I knew this guy was not it. I knew this guy did not have it. I knew this guy was not cut out for it. It didn't work, and you got to call a spade and just move on. And they haven't all the way in August. No, definitely not after a day off. Yeah, we'll bring this up. That's a great point. I listened to that. Should have seen if you could have flipped him for something. Even prospects, bro. Jeez. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm about to see if anybody wants my tickets for tomorrow. I'm sleeping in tomorrow. I'm not beat for that. Yeah, I got mad texts, bro. People, my boys that are bleacher creatures. People, they're laughing. They're like, "You on one right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro," because I'm done. This is you got me. You got me, Yanks. I'm done. Defeated me for the rest of the season. I don't believe. I'm done. I'm off. I'm off the ride. Yeah, yeah. Even this one, because like the game ended at like 10:28. They wrapped this post game up quick. Because you know what? Old Timers Day is tomorrow. Watch, I'm gonna speak on that. That's a good. I know exactly why. I'm part of the machine. I know exactly what goes on. Fucking idiots. So dumb. It's like it's arrogant. It is so arrogant to play around like that. Devin Williams doesn't have to pitch. Like you got to earn the right to come out there. You got to earn the right to come out there, bro. Like you don't. It's not just a given. You know how many pitchers want to come out there and get those outs for the Yankees? This guy comes out there throwing anything. Yeah, we've done it before. He's been on my show a bunch of times. I had him on my Nets podcast when he was a Nets fan. I rock with Frank. He's a Jersey guy. Kay was right. Bro, I don't even have no energy to do any push-ups. That's the thing. That's the fucking thing. I'm so shot. I did the show Wednesday night till 12. I didn't go to sleep till 2. I had to get up at like 7, 8 when my wife and my son got up yesterday. I took my wife to the DMV at 9. I picked my boy Joel up at like 9:50, drove us out to David Cohn's golf outing by 10:30, played golf all day in the sun, showered up, changed, went to the dinner till 10 o'clock, got home, didn't go to sleep till 11. I kid you not, I was in bed from 11 p.m. yesterday to 11 a.m. today, and I woke up and I was not refreshed. I'm shot right now. I'm literally about to I'm about to text the creatures in the chat like, yo, I got 2 tickets for tomorrow. Y'all can have them shits for real. Yeah, I just told the homies. They're listening there in the chat like, yo, keep this going off. Y'all send the link. Y'all, how you listening? I'm listening. I'm watching the stream. I'm listening. I just hit the chat. Shout out to any of the creatures that are in the chat right now. I'm like, yo, I'm not beat. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go home tonight and I'm gonna sleep in. And my wife will wake up and get my son. And before the pool doesn't open till 10. So by the time the pool is open, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get in the pool with my son. I can watch this shit from home, bro. I'm not beat. Not beat. I'm pulling a Derek Jeter, yo. I'm choosing the family. I'm choosing the family, yo. Why is Rosario playing right field? Because of the pinch hit situation. They had to move the outfield around, you know. They pinch hit Rosario for Dominguez. So Belly went to left and Rosario went to right. And he's fine out there. I didn't actually let me see if I can pull up the play because I didn't actually get eyes on well, I heard it. He crashed against the wall or something, right? You're like, we're letting yo. Like we're letting Taylor Trammell. Taylor Tram Taylor Trammell. He was briefly with the Yankees. Taylor Trammell, Yankees. Wasn't he with the Yankees for a little bit, yo? Yeah, he was. Very briefly. What's up, man? Yep. We're very briefly last year. Taylor Trammell wore 33 for the Yankees. And we're back quickly here. I'll take a call maybe before we get to the break and the update. Keith McPherson on the fan. I'm laughing. I'm like, we let Taylor Trammell have a revenge game against us. And I know a lot of people forgot. Like, briefly last year, Taylor Trammell was on the team. One of those little like Cashman transactions, like pick up an extra guy. He wore number 33 for the Yankees. Like, that's who we're letting go yard. Like it's like, bro, what? Like that is what you chose for us. That is the fate you chose for us. Devin Williams versus Taylor Trammell. He's got 3 home runs this season. Like that, none of it makes sense, bro. That's stupid. That's a joke. Like, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, embarrassed, man. Like, what? Jeff is in Florida on the fan. Hello, Jeff. You're first. Not good, not good. I haven't felt like this after a game, like maybe the World Series, game 5. Like that one broke me. This one broke me for the regular season. I'm good. Oh yeah. I mean,
fan. I knew that there were. I was a Mets fan. If you know the 2000 World Series and the 2015 World Series, Game 1 we were winning in the ninth and blew both of them. You're never coming back from that. But no, it's almost like if you're familiar with the movies Major League. It's almost like Boone or Cashman. They're almost like tanking on purpose, like they're trying to lose because why else would you do that?
They gotta have some heavy parlays or something. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if the game goes to the 11th or 12th inning and you're out of guys, I get it. But it's the 9th inning. It's
I didn't see the bullpen budget, but from what I know, everybody was off yesterday. I'm throwing anybody in that spot with the game on the line besides the guy that has blown the most game. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for it, bro. That's why the post game was short today, because everybody knows that was stupid. That was dumb. It did not have to happen.
Yeah, and you could say the Brewers aren't missing much. They just have an all-star closer and the best record in the league by a lot.
No, Brewers knew. The Brewers knew. Like, yeah. You'll give us Caleb Durbin? Throw in Nestor Cortez? Sure. We don't want him.
Yeah.
He's a liability. He's a huge liability.
Yeah, almost. I mean, not that you do. It's New York and the Yankees and everything else. Part of me almost feels bad for him because it's like he knows that he's not going to fail, and they keep letting
that's another thing. Thanks for the call, Jeff. There's no feeling bad for Devin Williams. He's getting paid what, $8 million or something like that, probably more. I don't even know his contract. It doesn't matter. There's no feeling bad for him. Do your job. You can't do your job, then tell coach, tell Skip, tell the manager, hey, I can't. I don't have it right now. I heard him, and he's quiet as kept. Yeah, I stink right now. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I stink right now. Not good enough. It's not right for you to pitch. That's a privilege. There are guys that would die to be on the New York Yankees and get that opportunity on Friday night. Apple TV, the whole world watching, to go out there and pitch well and get those outs. There's guys on that team that are sitting there like, man, it could have been me. All right, we got to go to Marco with the update right now. Keith McPherson on the fan for 2 more hours. Let's hit it.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo, morning 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Sponsored by Primo Brands, the official water sponsor of MLB. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Also brought to you by Police Officers Right to Sue.com. Well, Devin Williams, the gift that keeps on giving.
One from Williams. Floater driven deep to right. Going back Rosario. And that is from we threw a hanging change up and Taylor Trammell just left the yard. 2-run shot. Holy moly. 5-2 here in the 10th. And Devin Williams having this nightmare of nightmares.
3 runs allowed in the 10th for Devin Williams. Astros outlast the Yankees 5-3 in 10. Dave Sims, the call right here on the fan. Cam Schlittler gave up 2 over 5. Bullpen did their job until Williams in the 10th.
Not making pitches. It's pretty simple. I stink right now.
So the Bombers, they dropped 6 of 7. Mets struggles continue, caught up a 2-run lead as the Brewers held on for a 3-2 victory. Mets looked like they tied it in the 9th. Jeff McNeil singled up the middle, but Starling Marte gunned down the play for the final out of the game by Blake Perkins.
Came in, attacked it, and clean exchange and plus arm. Perfect throw to the plate. They executed it. But I thought Marte, had a good primary lead, secondary lead, and they just got him there.
Marte and Juan Soto each went deep. Kodai Senga giving up 3 runs over just 4 1/3. Mets have lost 5 straight and 9 of 10. 70 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Good morning. Yeah, I just already made a decision. I'm sleeping in. I'm going to go home tonight, crash. And by the time I'm ready to get up, I'll just go get in the pool with my son. And I'll listen to Dave and Susan call the Old Timers Day game. They'll be on. Programming alert for everybody that listens to the great WFAN. 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Susan will lead the Old Timers Day festivities. And that's another reason why the post-game stuff was short today on Yes Network and on WFAN, because everybody's got to go home, go to sleep, turn right back around. That's a quick turnaround, but not for me. I don't have to. I don't have to go through the misery. I don't have to be tired. I don't have to be irritable. I'm good. Good. Right? Because who's the fool? The fool or the fools that follow the fools? I'm done. That's why I said, as expensive as those tickets were, shout out to my boy Ack. We were in the terrace, and the terrace squad wasn't even out there. And I was like, damn, where everybody at? He's like, bro, it's like a lot of people didn't come in. The tickets never really went down. I'm like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, the Astros are here. He's like, yeah, Astros bring out a lot of casuals. Not a lot of the regulars, a lot of Astro fans and a lot of casuals that look at the Yankee schedule and the season schedule and they circle it. Oh, I'm going to go with the first game the Astros come so I can yell F Altuve. Yeah, man. That was that type of night, but they could have won. They definitely could have won that game. And to see you punt a game in the air, I'm ready for football. To see you go back to this dude again, and I see people in my chat. Oh, I do feel bad for Devin Williams. I don't feel bad for. I feel bad for his teammates. I feel bad for his teammates that were fighting, and that's another game that they fought back to be in. and the Yankees, Aaron Boone chose. Yeah, we'll live with this. It didn't work out tonight. It hasn't worked out. What did you expect? You didn't have to do that. That's why I said I'm done. So I'm not going to be stressing myself out. I'm in there yelling and screaming. I'm in there. Cam Schlittler got 2 strikes, 2 outs. Come on, put them away. Let's go. Everybody up. I'm out there trying to help will them to victory so that we can get there at the end to watch Devin Williams. Nope. You got to just laugh it off, yo, because it ain't that serious, right? It's just sports. It's just baseball. This is baseball. But at the end of this year, if these jokers mess around and don't make the postseason, ooh, and they let 8 games, I'm going to go through them. I got them in my notes. 8 games go to S behind the arm or lack thereof of Devin Williams. It's crazy to me. He is not the guy. He is soft. He is feeble. He is weak. And you can't throw him into you know what, too? There's a lot of former Yankees speaking out in these recent days. A lot of pitchers, too. And you're going to hear it tomorrow because a lot of them are going to come into that building and not hold back. Well, it is tomorrow. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, a lot of them are going to have a lot to say. And I hope so. You do not do that. The fans were excited to see our new players. The fans were excited to see this team respond. The fans were excited to see the Yankees fight now against an arch rival, and that's how you chose to go out? If they had a poll that they could have put up on the big screen in Yankee Stadium, hey, fans, let's take a vote, right? If they could have, take out your ballpark apps and vote here for what the Yankees should do. Bring Luke Weaver out again. I would have before I went to Devin Williams. Pitch anyone else. I would have let them take. I said AJ and Big Justice were out there for the roll call. We bring the boom. I would have let either of AJ or Big Justice pitch before I let Devin Williams pitch. Steve is in West Islip on the fan. What's up, Steve?
What's up, Keith? First time calling in a while. Love the show. Happy you're on tonight.
Thanks. I'm glad I didn't take off tonight. I'm glad that I am here for this one because this was the straw that broke the camel's back. If I am the camel, I am broken. I am off the roller coaster. Fool me, can't fool me again.
Well, Keith, you keep going back to 8, dude, and this is year 8 of Boone, man. And I've been a Yankee fan my whole life. I didn't want to fire Girardi. I wanted him and Cashman gone when we lost to Boston in 21, but here we are, running it back. And Boone just doesn't learn, dude. He's never learned how to manage the bullpen. Even though Cashman brought in all these guys, the other night I was disgusted. He said he couldn't go to Leiter because he's coming off the injured list, but he went to Nestor in game 1.
Imaginary things. These imaginary things. Oh, he hadn't pitched in a while. All of us laughed at that.
And you know what? Him and Cashman and Hal, they'll hear it tomorrow for Old Timers Day. I'm sure they'll get a warm welcome. But no matter how much, how hard it is, if they make the playoffs or not this year, my question for you is, when is it enough for Hal? Like, what's going to be the straw that breaks his camel's back, man? Because we're all broken.
Yeah, it's not that we're not in this type of. Thanks for the call, Steve. As I was sitting at David Cohn's Celebrity Charity Golf Classic just last night, listening to the Rocket Roger Clemens and David Cohn, tell stories of George Steinbrenner and celebrating 25 years since the 2000 Subway Series. And Coney's telling a story about being in Shea Stadium, and both of them were laughing about how janky the visiting bullpen was. And Coney's telling a story about how there were some weird wires that were exposed in the bullpen, and how he said to George, "Hey, you see those wires over there? I think they got this place bugged. They're listening. They're listening in on us." And he said George got down on the ground, started following the wires, pulling them, trying to see where they were going. And then he looked back. He saw Coney laughing at him. He got up, gave Cone a noogie, put him in the head like, "Are you messing with me?" But can you imagine? Can you imagine? And I'm not one. Like I said, I'm not calling for Aaron Boone's job. I'm not doing that. And I also don't, do what would George do? But could you imagine? An owner that is on his hands and knees in the visiting clubhouse during the World Series, thinking that they might be bugged, that the Mets might be listening in to what the Yankees are talking about, caring that much. So back to what you said about Hal, I don't know. I don't know if this is driving him insane like it's driving me insane. I don't know. I don't have a relationship with him. I don't talk to him. He's the owner, and it's like, what is it going to take? I don't know. I think, all right, if it's let's be businessmen, right? They made so much money last year going to the World Series. They made more money than they ever made. An extra $100 million through hosting those games in October and what. The threat of potentially missing out on that profit you're going to get in October, does that make you lose sleep and pound the table and say, enough? We don't have games to lose. And what I'm saying, folks, if you just look at, and I can't do this. I can't look at the schedule and say, oh, their schedule is soft. They're soft. I told you that months ago. It's a country club. It's laissez-faire because you know what? Anything goes. Anything goes. And then when they do actually fight like tonight, they're let down by the decision of the manager to go to a guy that's not going to be here next year, that wasn't here with the World Series team last year, that doesn't want to be here. He'd rather be anywhere else. So this whole thing is just a vicious cycle of nonsense for me as a fan, as a radio host that loves the team, that is sitting in here with a Yankee hat on, a pinstripe jersey, a Yankee shirt underneath, Yankee shorts, Yankee socks, so fired up to go back to the ballpark, back to the stadium to see all the fans. And it's not right. It's not right. It did not have to go down that way. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And that's where I went around I don't understand. You can't tell me, oh, Keith, Boone is doing what Cashman wants him to do. It's coming down from the top. I don't think Brian Cashman went out there and made all those moves to revamp this bullpen for them to die on the arm of Devin Williams. And in the chat, people are saying to me, hey, they should have traded Devin Williams. There was a lot of talk about trading Devin Williams. Yeah, Ryan says leading up to the deadline, Case had to trade Williams while his stock was high. He's not going to be re-signed. We can get other relievers. Multiple people are like, yo, once you, but you know what it is? Cashman works till, the buzzer. I guess you couldn't have traded Williams earlier, a day before the deadline or hours before the end of the deadline until you knew. I don't know, man. You got Luke Weaver. Get this guy out of here. Mario's in Jersey on the Fan next. What's up, man?
What's up, Keith? How you doing, man?
Not good, bro. Not good.
I feel you. You actually stole my thunder, bro, but
no, we share thunder around here, bro. If you are thinking what I've already said, go ahead and say it in your own words.
Basically, my saying is you keep putting your hand on the stove and you know it's hot. They go back to Devin Williams. Obviously, you know how the vibes are going to be in the stadium. And once Trammell hit that ball, I'm like, bro, obviously it's going to be him. The guy that we traded to them in like November that nobody really cared about. He was like a defensive replacement last year. I think he played 2 games at the stadium last year. Of course, he's going to hit a homer off, the famous Devin Williams airbender changeup. Of course, it was going to be him, bro.
Yeah, and that's what they get, right? The baseball gods are laughing at them, saying, you want to tempt fate? This is the fate you chose. Choose your own adventure. You go back to Devin Williams again. Even Taylor Trammell can hit a homer. And you know what, too, bro? The fact, like I said, I'm in the car listening. The Yankees went and got that run. They made it. If he didn't give up that in some other realm, in some other Yankee universe, if any other guy went out there and gave up the one run, the one Manfred man on second, and the Yankees were able to go into the bottom of the 10th and get that third run, then we'd be playing into the 11th. And you know what they probably would have did if they pitched anyone? Bednar, Leiter, Hedrick, Hill, Big Justice, AJ. They would have probably still put Devin Williams in the 11th. Thanks for the call, bro. 888-808-1019. It's stupid, bro. It is dumb as hell. And you know what? We are, as fans, we are going to wear this. If they do not rally and play, they have to play at a winning percentage. I don't know. I got to tap in with some of my math guys, some of these stat guys. My guy Matt with the stats at MLB Network. Like, bro, what is the winning percentage that they have to play at the rest of the way to get to 90 wins, to kind of like ensure that they're getting? We don't know because there are other factors. Like I said tonight, I'm in there, I'm watching the out-of-town scoreboard. The Cleveland Guardians put up 5 in the first inning, right? They won tonight. You barely got out of Texas alive. But, the deadline is done. The teams are the teams. If you think you have any wiggle room, you don't. This Yankees team is not a juggernaut. They have a lot of talent on paper, but like Boone told you, we got to put it together. I don't have faith in you putting it together because even when you put it together like you did tonight, you found a way to lose. Dom is in Edgewater. Dom, you're on the phone.
Keith, first of all, thank you for taking my phone call. I appreciate it. I've spoken with you in the past, and you're one hell of a guy, so thank you very much for taking my call. I'm just like you. I'm very frustrated. I'm very angry. I'm very annoyed. Enough is enough already. I mean, Devin Williams just needs to be DFA'd. Enough is enough. I've seen enough already. Aaron Boone, the same exact thing. Most of the callers took my point already. But, when is enough enough? You've given Aaron Boone a leash for 8 years now, or at least close to it. And, you got swept by the Red Sox in 21. You missed the playoffs in 23. And not also to mention, you blew game 1 of the World Series when you threw Nestor Cortez against Freddie Freeman, and Freeman rocked the Grand Slam from here all the way to Encino in Dodger Stadium. So I don't know what else to tell you. Now, you were saying before, what do you think the winning percentage would be? Because they're 61 and 55. I mean, with 46 games left to go, this is just my personal opinion. They're going to have to go on some type of a major run. And I would have to probably say 28 and 18 in the next 46, which, to be honest with you, would be a godsend. Let's pray to the gods.
They're going to play.
Let's pray to the gods. There's something good. I know. I'm just saying that's from my perspective.
They're going to be 10 games over 500 the rest of the way.
I know.
I don't see it. They lose.
No, I don't see it either, Chief. I'm just saying that's just my thought process, because it's just the way. And if you look at their schedule, the rest of September, holy smokes, it is absolutely brutal. You have Houston for 3. You have Toronto,
I'm looking at
Detroit,
I've seen
the Red Sox. I don't know. I mean, honestly,
we got to get out of August alive.
Yeah, Keith, I'll tell you this: if this team is lucky to win 82 games and win 21 more games and reach the 80 plateau, and I know. The MLB playoffs is a crapshoot because, you never really know, you get in there and you never know. But still, this team's got to find ways to do it. And not also to mention major problems with the Yankees is that runners in scoring position have been a major issue. If you go back to the Texas series when they lost 2 out of 3, They were 4 for 21 runners in scoring position. Now, again, with all the combinations, there's got to be some way to do this. But I'll tell you right now, Williams needs to be out of here. And if they don't make the playoffs this year, you're absolutely correct. It's a fireable offense. Aaron Boone, goodbye. Get us another manager who will take us to the playoffs in the World Series. Thanks for my call.
Thanks for the call, Dom. Like I said, I'm not calling for anybody's job, but if you have this much talent, you have this high of a payroll, Cashman did this much work in the offseason and at the deadline to add talented players to this team. It's another year of Aaron Judge. It's another year of John Carlos. And like, if you can't make the postseason after going to the World Series, and the year before that going 82-80 and missing the post, like something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. And it starts at the top. And you guys want to go to the top to Hal. You can't, like that. There is none of that. Like, then you want to go to Cashman. There also isn't any of that. So, like, who's going to be the fall guy? Aaron Boone. And I mean, it ain't right, but heads have to roll. Somebody's got to be held accountable. Accountable is a buzzword. Accountability. Like, somebody's got to be held accountable for this. They can't hold Devin Williams accountable. I don't know why. Like, I just saw you kick JT Brubaker to the curb. Loizaga was trash. At least you Phantom IL'd him. Stroman gave up 4 runs in the 4th inning of his last appearance, and then they showed him the door, ate his money. They did that dumb stuff with DJ for like a month and a half, and then they eventually moved on from him. Like, it is time to deal with some hard truths. Like, you could DFA Devin Williams tomorrow, but you know what they're going to think? They're going to think, oh, well, we're not going to DFA Devin Williams because then somebody else is going to get him and get him right. Or they might think that they can get him right. They might play more stupid games and win some more stupid prizes where they try to, all right, Yankee fans, all right, we got y'all. Okay, that was the last time high leverage. That was the last time in a tie game. That was the last time. Now we'll just pitch him in the 6th inning. Like, I don't even want to see, bro. You can't pitch him in the stadium. You can't do it, Aaron Boone. The audacity, the gall. That's why I said Aaron Boone's got hella job security. He signed that contract. That signature, that contract is ironclad, untouchable. I'm here, baby. I'm here. I'm gonna roll Devin Williams out in front of all you 46,000 people here. People starting, and me included. Like I said, I did the dash. As soon as I'm telling you, I was right around like where like 124, 125 is, and once we went down 1, 2, 3, and Jazz is another one. Jazz is cooked right now. Jazz is not really doing a damn thing. Once we went down, and I looked at the TV, and they showed Devin Williams' beard, I had to beat it, bro. Brian's in White Plains on the fan. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Keith. How you doing? First-time caller. Respect you. How you doing?
Thanks, man. I'm not doing good. That game didn't have to go that way. I'm tired of the Devin Williams experiment. I thought it was over.
Yeah, me either. I was sitting in left field tonight. But I just want to say this. So, the last 49 games, the Yankees are 19-30.
Yeah, they're the White Sox.
Joe Girardi got fired off 22-29 starting the season in Philly. Brandon High got fired off 15-32 in Baltimore this season. If this 49-game streak happened in April, I believe he would have already been fired. I mean, why is it acceptable that just because it didn't happen at the beginning of the season, it's acceptable now?
Because they can justify it by saying, we were in the World Series last year. I wish we would stop saying that. We were in the World Series last year. Last year is over. You lost the World Series. And some people want to say they weren't embarrassed. Yes, they were. They were embarrassed. When I think back to the World Series, I don't think about the run differential. I think about how many embarrassing moments there were, decisions that were made wrong, and how it all fell down. But they can justify it by saying we can't fire a manager that if the season ended today would be in the wild card.
I mean, yes, and I don't want to go to what would George do, because I'm not that type of fan. I like
we wouldn't be here, and rest his soul, because he'd be an old man right now. But if the George Steinbrenner that I was listening to Roger Clemens talk about last night, that I've heard all these guys tell stories about, if we would not have gotten this far. Thanks for the call, Brian. We would not be here. We would not be in this actual spot. Nobody would have a beard. Nobody would have a beard. Robbie's in Lenox next up on the fan. Go for it, Robbie.
Hey,
What's up, Keith? Oy vey, that's the topic. You know, your last caller said something that I was going to say. 19 and 30, okay? Let me just say, first of all, how is this guy keeping his effing job? Keith, this is the only guy I've ever seen in Major League Baseball history, okay? I've been a Yankee fan since 1970. I used to watch Stick Michael play shortstop, okay? I'm 60 years old, and I want to know, through all the years I've been watching baseball, how does Aaron Boone keep his job? How is this ass keeping his job? I want to know how he keeps his job, Keith. Please explain to me,
Because
okay?
where else did he manage? Thanks for the call, Robbie. I've been saying this stuff for a long time. Where else did he manage? He didn't manage the Savannah Bananas. He didn't manage the Toms River Little League team. He was handpicked from ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, Baseball Tonight, a media member, a former Yankee, to come in and manage these Yankees. And so many people say he is managing the team the way they want him to manage the team. They had a meeting yesterday, going into this game tonight. And that's why I'm like, damn, they must really actually be completely disconnected from the fans. When they talk about we don't listen to that stuff, we don't hear, that has to be 1,000% true. And I don't know how in 2025 you don't run across WFAN. Not even like, all right, I can understand if you don't listen to the radio or you don't have the Odyssey app, but you don't see any clips on Twitter, and not even WFAN. There are 3,000 Yankee podcasts. There are 300 Yankee influencers. You don't hear any of this stuff that any of us are saying, all this content that goes out. Nobody even even if you don't have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, nobody ever sends you a link, a text message to say, here, listen to what Keith McPherson said. Hey, did you see this take from John Boy? Did you hear Joe's McFly? Hubs from Barstool? Yankee Source, Gary Sheffield Jr. I could keep going down the list of people that put out content. The Fireside Yankees guys. You don't catch any of this? So they had a meeting today, and they decided today that if this game gets tight, which you knew was going to get tight, it's a Yankee-Astro game, either they smoke us or, we can fight and scratch and claw and should have won the game. They had a meeting today where Devin Williams was not off limits, but David Bednar was, Mark Leiter Jr. was, Tim Hill was, Edric was, pitching Luke Weaver again wasn't an option. Can I be in the Zoom me in? Hell, I'll come to the stadium live just for the meeting and take my ass home because I'll be the first one in the meeting and say, no. They played a day game in Texas. They flew back. They had a day off. We need to win. You can't put him out there on the mound in front of these fans in the Bronx. You can't do it. Sauce is in Hal on the Fan in New York. What's up, Sauce?
Keith, what's going on, man? Thanks for I just wanted to talk about, a little bit of a broken record tonight, but Devin Williams in the bullpen. I know that he's been struggling recently. Obviously, like the last couple of games, he's been giving up a bunch of earned runs. I think it was a very selfish move of Boone to throw him in the game when, one of the Yankees' biggest rivals, and we're throwing him in when it matters. I think that, pitching comes with a lot of confidence. And I think instead of, Weaver coming in the game, I thought that would be a spot for Williams, to get a little bit of confidence back, perhaps somehow throw a no-run inning and maybe, use Weaver in the spot.
They go against their own things, right? They decided to pitch him in the 10th inning with Manfred's man on second. I remember hearing earlier in the season that they did not want to put him in with that inherited runner, that magical ghost runner. But now it's cool after, what?
Yeah, it just, it just doesn't make sense because, you've seen him pitch the last couple games and it's just, you're giving up home runs to guys who are hitting below 200. And it's just not sure what Boone's thinking of okay, I have all these, we trade all these guys to get guys in the pen. Granted, Bednar threw 45 pitches, 2 days ago. I know Leiter was on the.
I'd rather him come out there and throw lefty. Listen, I don't care.
I completely agree with you. You're a major league reliever. You throw 45 pitches 2 days ago. You have all the treatment in the world. You have all these people who can get you right to throw an inning in a game. And I think that throwing Williams in that position was a terrible move. And I would have probably thrown him where if
if he even went in that game, I would have thrown him where Weaver went in.
No, he'd be down today, Sauce. Thanks for the call, man. He'd be down today. You can't do that. If I could go back to my shows, I go to the games, bro. I'm like, you can't. Like I said, I wasn't in the bleachers, and I'm glad I wasn't, because I probably would have been heckling his ass too. I would have been yelling at Harkey, no, please, no, don't send him in. Don't send him in. The Yankees come up with these imaginary things. Rest. Because David Bednar threw 40-some pitches. He's got to be down for days, right? Because we might need him to save Saturday's game. But what if you don't end up in a save situation on Saturday? Because the team can't quickly wake up tomorrow and forget about tonight. You know how they get down, right? It took them a while to overcome that loss in Miami that Friday. They couldn't score the next day. You could barely score today with 5 hits, a few scoreless innings. But, what if the team is so knocked down by another Devin Williams catastrophe that, your imaginary planning of, we need Bednar for Saturday. It's pretty much a L. Framber Valdez on the mound, I'm not going to the game. I'm good, bro. And you can say that's soft or whatever, or you're quitting on the team. I'm tired. I worked the night shift. I was on till 12, went to the golf outing. I haven't slept right. So I'm pulling a Derek Jeter. I'm choosing the family tomorrow. I'm going to be in the pool with my son listening to the game. Really, the old timers game. I gotta get my stress levels down. I gotta protect my peace. These guys, all they do is disturb my peace, and they don't have to, but they choose to over and over and over. For Devin Williams, Devin Williams is more important than all of us. Getting Devin Williams, squeezing any ROI, any return on investment in August. Getting anything out of Devin Williams in August is paramount. That's a priority. The night before Old Timers Day, which is supposed to be a day where Yankee fans come back to see their old favorites all together. Generations of your family, grandpa, father, son, grandma, mom, daughter, everybody, all just ruined it for me. Just absolutely broke me tonight. I'm off the ride. 888-808-1019. I'll try and talk about the Mets a little bit when we come back. But it's that's another reason why I'm pissed at the Yankees. I can't even enjoy the Mets losing. Keith McPherson on the fan. I'll be right back.
Yankees play ball with the Astros. 205.
Yo, shout out to the homie Gabe. I'm posting the Gabe video. Gabe clipped my open, so I'm posting it on my Instagram, TikTok, and all that right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm laughing because he cooked that up quick. Welcome back. I'm getting to the point where I'm laughing it off. I think what helped is that I'm like, I'm not going to the game tomorrow. I'm just like, word, I'm gonna go home and go to bed. And it is what it is. Keep McPherson on the fan. I don't know what y'all want to talk about. Shador Sanders? Oh, y'all want me to lie to you and tell you the Giants are gonna be good this year? Oh, you want me to get you hyped for Justin Fields and the Jets? Nah, I'm not gonna be the one to do that either. I will say preseason football doesn't matter. We're just football fiends. We're obsessed as a country with football. Like this is just preseason football is the most glorified practice. It's spring training. It's not even spring training. It's like, especially the guys you're watching right now, like half these guys on the field, you don't even know the guys on the field unless you're a college football guy, unless you're like a deep football fan, which I don't understand. But like the average football fan doesn't know most of these guys playing, and most of these guys are getting cut. So like any of the hot takes and stuff like that, like once we get into the regular season, how much do you guys remember about the preseason? I love this time of year because we're gonna start cooking up. We're gonna start just being ridiculous. Preseason football. What happened to them shortening the preseason? They're gonna do that eventually, right? They're gonna have more games to the regular season. Preseason stuff is nonsense. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm happy for Shador though. I told him bust down my AP. Perfect time, man. I saw they were mad that Shador came in with a boom box. I don't know. Somebody had Kyrie's walking stick. Did you see the dude with Kyrie Irving's walking stick? He came in like Gandalf or something. He came in like Master Splinter. But I liked it because I'm like, hey, Shador is a showman, and I follow Shador and all his stuff, and he's always shooting a vlog and some type of content. And the song that he was playing, he was coming into his own music. He's promoting his own music, and he knew it was all about him tonight. There's a lot of hot takes about Shador Sanders and them throwing him to the Wolves. They're not throwing him to the Wolves. It's football. What are you talking about? That's Deion's kid. You think he's not ready to play football? He is. And it made sense. It's preseason. You're going to put old man Joe Flacco in there? No. Joe Flacco is one hit away from his career ending. Kenny Pickett, Pride of Ocean Township, Go Big Red Spartans, all that. That's my dog. That Kenny used to watch me play varsity. Kenny grew up wanting to be me. Kenny wore that number 8 because Keith McPherson wore that number 8. I'm kidding, but not really. Kenny's hurt. Dylan Gabriel, who they drafted, is hurt. It was only smart for them to put Shador Sanders there because since April, Shador Sanders has been in the building and knows the system. And, they just signed Snoop Huntley, which I don't know. We don't call him Tyler anymore. He's Snoop now. Whatever. They just signed him. But you know what? All in all, the Browns won that game. And Shador played well. So he won. And all those haters out there, they're just adding clicks and engagement. 888-808-1019. Before we went to the break, I said, I'm mad at the Yankees because, like, with them losing at this clip, we can't even enjoy the Mets losing. Like, the Yankee fan can't even be like, ha ha. Can't even look at the Mets and be like, trash. Can't even look at the Mets and be like, this is what you paid for? Because it's just as bad, if not worse. And last week I talked a lot about how the Yankees were shielding the Mets, but that didn't last for long because the Mets were no hit. They were no hit for some 40 innings between the second game and the third game against the Guardians. And then they went there tonight to Milwaukee, and after the first and second inning, they got a couple knocks, but like what is going on? What's up with Lindor, bro? Like, they got to get him right immediately. I'll give Juan Soto some credit because he, when I'm listening to the game in there and I'm kind of keeping up with the game on my phone, I was impressed. I'm like, Juan Soto's like that. Like, as much as I do hate on Juan Soto, and I'm glad he's not on the Yankees because I don't think he's the right kind of guy for you to win with. We'll see if the Mets can debunk that in the next 15 years. He is a showman, and he does rise to the occasion. And him hitting that home run to break up the no-no, and then his next at bat going yard, I'm like, this guy is, I'm like, he's about to do it. He's about to heat up. But, man, he had a swing late in that game that I was listening to. I went and looked. Like, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Oh, okay, so, yeah. Marte followed up, Platino Power. And I had a note, like, it's funny. We made so much, myself and others on the fan and people online, we made so much about how Soto and Marte celebrated that homer to break up the no-no, but you lost. You got swept. You got, you were a couple outs away from being embarrassed. You got no hit for 43 innings. But those were the guys that showed up today. Funny how the two guys that, got a lot of attention for really no reason, doesn't matter. They were the first to show up today. And put a pin in the Marte thing. So then when we get to that fifth inning, it's tough. I feel like the fifth inning for the Mets, and maybe the Met fan will call me and tell me, that fifth inning, in the middle of these games, it always goes south. It always goes wrong because that is where you got to go to the pen. That is where it starts to get shaky. And your thoughts become things, and and I know, and they know, and everybody that's paying attention knows, like, oh, you're about to fold. So, I mean, Kodai Senga was an all-star a couple years ago. Kodai Senga missed most of last year, came back and did what he could in the postseason. It wasn't great. He's not having a great year this year either. He cannot go deep into games. Kodai Senga goes 4 1/3. And it got a little tricky there. That homer he gave up, Bryce Terang homer to tie it. So then you're in a brand new game. Then there is a walk. Then there's a catcher's interference. Francisco Alvarez, catcher's interference. Luis Torrens has a catcher's interference too. Those, I mean, they get you, man. It happens. It happens. Depending on a Sal Frelick swing, it happens. But you can kind of feel it unraveling. So then, you've got another walk, and then it's, bases loaded. You go to Brooks Raley, and Brooks Raley hits a guy. So, what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't watching it, I'm listening, but it's like, game. That's the game right there. A hit by pitch for Milwaukee to take the lead 3-2. And Pat Murphy's over there like, oh, that's all we need. That's all we need. And I'm sitting in the Hard Rock. I camp out at the Hard Rock. Shout out to Chris for taking care of me because when the Yankees, I just kind of go hide there. I don't want to be out there in the fray. I just go hide away in the Hard Rock and take notes for my show. But I'm like, okay, how do the Mets respond? How do the Mets respond to this fifth inning? Juan Soto comes out and he's swinging at the first pitch down the middle. I guess he saw a beach ball, but he kills some worms. He grounds out. Then Pete Alonso strikes out. Nimmo strikes out. I'm like, oh, they're not going to recover from this. They're not going to make it happen tonight. Seventh inning. 1-2-3 inning. I'm like, bro. They got to be better than this. They pay too much for this team. I'm like, all right, whatever. Eighth inning. they changed the bottom of the order up a little bit, try and get something going there. Maybe these guys can turn it over, and then the top of the order get it going. Nope. They make the pitching change. Milwaukee takes Woodruff out of the game. Mauricio strikes out. Cedric Mullins strikes out. Lindor works a walk. Soto grounds out again. It's like, where is the clutch? Where is the return on investment? Where is the superstar that the Mets are paying for, right? You got a homer there, Juan Soto. You got a homer there for the lead. Nope, he gets eager again. Back at bat, swinging at the first pitch, grounding out. Soto is the guy that has this plate discipline. Soto is this guy with the ultimate strike zone that like works, counts, and makes you. I don't know. And then the game ends. I said put a pin in that Marte thing, right? They do rally a bit. They do get something going in the ninth. Marte doubles, and then there was some talk at the end of the game, right? There was a challenge because of the play at the plate. And many people saying, hey, why don't you call? Why don't you pinch hit Tyrone Taylor? 2 feet on the bags. Send him anyway. Remember that game last week against the Guardians where we should have sent him to walk it off and we didn't? And Mendoza, who I'm telling you, brothers, Mets fans are going to see how Boone like Mendoza is. He came from Boone School, man. He said no, like Marte. Now, he said something about Marte is good. He's a good runner. Marte is a good runner. He's always hurt. He's always got a knee, a hammy, a back, something like that. Marte is a good runner. It's one thing to have a good runner. You have a faster runner available. It's the end of the game. You're down a run. You have in score position. There's my Mets fan. 888-808-119. Can't say I didn't talk Mets. Can't say I left the Mets out of the misery. The misery loves company. And you know what I'm going to do every single time when the Yankees are down? I'm going to pull y'all down with us. Andrew's in White Plains on the fan. Hello, Andrew. No, you can't. It's worse over here. It's worse because it's worse. And they can laugh because Devin Williams was broken by Pete Alonso. I'm a Friday night guy too, bro. I love going there on a Friday night, and you know what? And I don't mean to cut you off, but we're having a conversation back and forth. If you're a Friday night guy, shout out to my guy Joel. I said to Joel, I'm like, you know how many times I've seen him on a Friday night come home from a road trip, or come back with some new toys from the deadline, or come back from like a nice win or something, and then lay an egg at home. I'm like, this feels like they're gonna lay an egg. I didn't know it was gonna be with Devin Williams on the mound. Yep. Bellies at bat when they brought in go ahead. Left the runner on third. I'm like, what the Belly? That was, I think Big Mac tweeted that was Belly's worst at bat of the year. I'm like, I've never seen him look like that. We always rave about his 2-strike approach and how he changes his swing. I'm like, he was too eager there. Oh. Yeah. The umps are trash. Yeah. You should bring him back, Nico. He should still be there. You still there, Andrew? Yeah. Okay, just had to clean it up. No, it's all good. I saw that too. And the judge called the timeout, right? We all just lived it. We were there. Judge called the timeout. He kind of walked towards the away dugout, and then after that, I'm telling you, bro, when I saw Devin Williams, like, bro, I started heading to the door. Yeah, I started heading to the door. Good luck, bro. 888-808-1019. Yeah. But like, earlier in the season, Aaron Boone was telling us he's elite. Oh, this is a guy who's been one of the best relievers in baseball. And earlier in the season, I was telling you, no. It's not going to work. Please, at Keith McPherson. And you don't got to follow me. You don't got to click on anything. I just want you to go back and look. And now I'm posting the video from the night. Shout out to Gabe who clipped the video up. May the 6th, I quit on Devin Williams. And it wasn't because of you know what it was? I using my eyes and knowing what I know. And the sum of all things. We traded for this guy. He didn't sign here. He didn't ask to be here. This isn't Milwaukee. This is the Yankees coming off a World Series. There's a lot of pressure here. The fans are hurt. The fans are expecting. We had Luke Weaver last year. We thought Luke Weaver was the closer. People love Luke Weaver. His personality, the ferocious jungle cat. This guy's now he's got to compete with fans. I was at the game when the fans were chanting, "We want Weaver." He's got to compete with that. Then he's got to deal with the fans that don't like the beard policy. He just had his firstborn son. I know how stressed I was going through those early baby days. I couldn't imagine having a pitch on top of that. He's in a walk here. Pete Alonso broke him. I'm like, this ain't going to work. I'm like, this is not going to work. He doesn't have the mentality for it. The pinstripes are heavy. Fast forward to you. June, July, August, 3 months later, we are still doing the Devin Williams experiment because he was elite. This guy was one of the best guys in the game. We traded for him. And somebody sent me somebody sent me the stats Caleb Durbin's putting up. I could give a damn what Caleb Durbin is doing. We never saw him. There's no guarantee that Caleb Durbin would be producing here like he is in Milwaukee. So I don't care about that. And Nestor Cortez, and Nestor's a homie. Mad respect for Nestor. I had him on the show. Shout out to him. Him and his girl DM'd me. They said, "You're the GOAT. We listened to your show 3 years ago." So I'm not disrespecting Nestor, but Nestor had to get the F up out of here after the whole debacle with, they didn't want to pitch Mark Leiter Jr. He didn't pitch in a while. Well, you know what, folks? I was at the Somerset Patriots game last Saturday where Mark Leiter Jr. pitched. He made an appearance in AA. Nestor didn't make any kind of appearance, and he came out in game 1. Grand slam, the first ever walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Nestor needed the change of pace. They had to trade him away. And you know what? He got traded again. He's on the Padres now. So what are we doing trying to get a return on investment out of Devin Williams? Make it make sense. Tom is in Freeport on the fan. What's up, Tom? Sorry for yelling, Tom. I'm sorry. I've been yelling all night. I barely even have a voice. I was in the stadium yelling. I didn't mean to yell at you. Are you still there with us or no? Okay, Tom fell asleep. It's getting to that time. Let's see if Bob is awake in Los Angeles because he's on Pacific time. It is malpractice. It is self-sabotage. Yeah, I changed that up. It's funny. I heard the caster said, "Don't pour bath water on my head and tell me it's raining." I'm like, everybody's using my stuff now. I heard Sal talk about the whipping boy the other day. I'm like, I know y'all be listening. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. And you know what? They're not anymore. They're not telling us that Devin Williams is elite anymore. They're not telling us about what he was. They aren't telling us that they're about trying to get him right. You know what Boone said tonight? It didn't work out tonight. We got short down there. He knows that was nonsense. Oh, bro. A high fastball to Altuve is 2 feet in the air. I was in there, Bob. They were chanting F Altuve, and I swear it was like he could hear the bozos in the back of the bleachers chanting F Altuve. First pitch up in the middle of the zone. Smacks it to left field. We couldn't even finish the roll call. It was a silencer. I'm like, God them. Like every time. Like it is insane. It is insane. Thanks for the call, Bob. But I know I watched it live in there, bro. It was insane. And like Cam Schlittler didn't stand a chance. Like Cam Schlittler is 6'7", 6'6". And he's got to hit this little strike zone the size of a shoebox. There has to be some kind of scouting report, right? There has to be some type of conversation in these meetings. That's why, not for nothing. I don't know if you guys caught Eric Bolin talking on foul territory, and like people are starting to get loud. People are starting to get loud about the Yankees and how they do things, and their scouting department and their development, and what like there are a lot of people that I think are taking some delight in the Yankees suffering. I'm not. I suffer when the Yankees suffer, bro. I'm not. I wear this stuff on me. I can't get rid of it. You wouldn't know me if I wasn't a Yankee fan. So I'm struggling with this one. But yeah, I'm in there, and I have a video, but like, I couldn't post so many people in there. I had a video from the bleachers I put on the stream of my face, just like, no way. Like as soon as they're number 27, Jose Altuve, we're not even done with the roll call. Everybody starts boo, boo. And Mark, who leads the roll call, is trying to keep me, hey, chill. Like, we got to finish the roll call. And we're trying to do Ben and Rice. F Altuve. They didn't even get through two F Altuve. F Altuve. Yo, we homered. 2-0. Shut up. Y'all still doing that? Y'all still saying F my family? Got him again. First pitch, first time he ever faced Cam Schlittler. First pitch. And yeah, I don't know if there's some type of scouting report or whatever, or I don't know. That's the one I would have told him, hey, Altuve is on a tear this year. Do not, the fans are going to gas him up. It gives Mighty Mouse his powers. That little bugger goes Super Saiyan when he hears F Altuve. Do not throw it in the zone. He ain't but 5'1" or 2. He's going to hit it out. And he did. He's a pro's pro. He's on his way to being one of the best Astros of all time. Like, if not the best, man. Yeah, there's some numbers I want to look up. I'm going to look up something, too, that I saw about Devin Williams, where I'm like, they don't have this information? So I remember last week with Bednar. I'm like, they don't have the information that Bednar gives up a run every inning he pitches in Marlin Park. Driving me nuts. Keith McPherson on the fan. 1 hour left. Call me up. We'll be right back. Beavis Lee Ray. Keith called the show a few years ago on some be positive stupidity. Yankees still got a chance stuff. You hung up and mocked me for it. You were right. I have been off the ride for about a month now. 25 is done. Now, I'm never mocking y'all, bro. I'm with y'all, bro. I'm with y'all, bro. That's why I'm mad, bro. So, don't ever think I'm mocking you Yankee fans. But, if you called on some positive stuff on a night that I was on one and I hung up on you and shut you down, it was probably because you were on some fanatical fairy tale stuff about what would happen later in the year. And here we are now. I say stuff like, I had to grow up. Peter Pan left Neverland. Santa Claus ain't real anymore. I don't believe in fairy tales. I don't, bro. I don't. That's why I'm like, I'm good, bro. I thought that they were going to win tonight and it was going to set us up for a great old timers day. And now I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. I want to go home, go to bed, and I'm pulling a Jeter. I'm choosing family tomorrow. I'm not dipping off on my wife and my son tomorrow to go up there and watch Framber Valdez no-hit them. in front of like the Yankees that have rings, that are gonna have rings on in there. Like, nah, bro. The culture is broken. The organization is broken, and they think it's all right, and it's not all right. So thanks for the super chat, Beavis. Let me try and talk to some more of y'all in here during the break, yo. I think I pulled up this with the Caster, man. Caster was right. Michael K wanted to trade Devin Williams, and people thought, you're crazy. He's our best reliever. And it's like, yo, this is the deadline. You can get some other relievers. And now that we have other relievers, we're like, what is the use of this guy? Like, what do we do with this guy now? And like, I remember being on the Thursday night of the deadline, and it was right after they won 3 in a row to beat Tampa, and they asked Boone in the moment, okay, now you guys have, David Bednar, the Pittsburgh Pirates closer, Camilo Duvall, the Giants closer. Obviously, Luke Weaver closed games for you through the World Series. Like, who's your closer? He said, Devin Williams. You know what I said to y'all that night? No, he's not. Not my closer. It's closer by committee, at least. It's matchups. It depends on the day. It depends on the bullpen budget. But I did tell you, too, I'm like, this month of, because a lot of people celebrated, yo, we're done. Cashman got us some. I remember I said Cashman solved the Devin Williams problem. I thought he solved the Volpe problem, which he kind of did. Like, he added a player that could play shortstop. Volpe's been better since then. We're not talking about Volpe tonight, right? Volpe made some throws tonight. This Devin Williams stuff is insanity, because the motive, it'd be one thing if he was a homegrown player. It'd be one thing if he was on a contract and it was coming back for years. It'd be one thing if you didn't have any other options. So, yeah, man, they die hard on their own stuff. And I can't. I'm a diehard fan. I'm dead. This season to me is dead. I don't see them doing anything. I don't, honestly, like, I'm not going to hold you. I'm doing the math, and I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm looking at how they've played. They have to play at like a 600-700. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And like Aaron Boone admitted last week, he admitted to us last Friday that yeah, it was tough for them to overcome Friday's loss. So you mean to tell me they're going to snap out of it tomorrow and be ready to go tomorrow? They're going to overcome this one that quick? Doubt it. Doubtful.
Sponsored by Greenbow Brands, the official water sponsor of MLB. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Also brought to you by policeofficersrighttosue.com. Yankees still can't solve the Astros. Fell in 10-5-3. Devin Williams, another disastrous outing, gave up 3 runs in the 10th. So the obvious question, why'd he get out there in a tie game to begin with? Aaron Boone on yes. Cam Schlittler allowed 2 runs over 5. The Bombers' swoon continues. 6 losses in 7 games. Half-game lead now on the Guardians for the final wild card. For the Mets, just pure heartbreak. Blake Perkins gunning down Starling Marte at the plate for the final out as the Brewers switch to the Mets 3-2. Keith Rad the call, Odyssey Mets Radio. Marte and Juan Soto with solo shots, but Kodai Senga giving up 3 runs over just 4 1/3. Brewers win streak is 7. Mets losing streak is 5. They have dropped 9 of 10, now 3.5 back of the Phillies. 70 degrees, clear sky at Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Okay, let's get as many calls in as I can in this last 50 minutes of my show. Keith McPherson on the Fan, KM to AM. Another one of those nights, man. We've had too many of these nights. So before I get to these calls, I'm just going to bring some more stuff to the table. And, man, I really do hope that I don't have to do this again. I really do hope that we don't have to talk about these things with Devin Williams again. Like, close the book on it. Move on. A lot of you in the chat are talking about they should have traded him at the deadline. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now there's nothing you can do. And I think they'd be insane to try and play with us again, play right in our faces like they did tonight and run him out there. And you just heard Aaron Boone, lane. There is no lane for Devin Williams with the game on the line. There is no lane for Devin Williams in high leverage anymore. To me, there's not even any lane for Devin Williams in Yankee Stadium, unless like there is no lane. I've seen him blow a 4-run lead. There's no lane. Like, you put him in if we're getting maybe like, and that's the thing. Like, you pitched him last night to take the L, and now you got Framber Valdez, and you got Luis Gil in his first home start of the season, where like it could get ugly tomorrow. That would have been the spot to pitch him. If we're down by a bunch of runs late in the game, yeah, then you pitch him then, and you try to get him to work on his stuff. So shout out to Yankee Source. My guy over at Yankee Source does great work. They wrote yesterday, Devin Williams hasn't had the consistent command of his changeup this year. 30.9% hard hit and a 398 slug percentage on the changeup this year. His four-seamer has had a negative run value this year, and that was also a good pitch for him in the past seasons. The late movement and deception on his change haven't been there every game. Meatball swing percentage is up 66.7% to 83.3%. That's bad. Meatball swing percentage. Like, I'm not a stat nerd. Like, is that on Baseball Savant? Is that on Fangraphs? They have a such stat as meatball swing percentage. You're going to a high leverage guy with a meatball swing percentage that is up to 83.3%. Hell yeah. Taylor Trammell can take him deep. Bad control plus bad pitches in the zone equals trouble. I put the video and that quote tweet on my Twitter account at Keith_McPherson. And I said, the Yankees don't have this info? The Yankees don't have that info. Just like they didn't have the info to tell Cam Slittler, whatever you do, bro, do not throw it up there to Altuve. He's going to whop it. That little Bam Bam, he's like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He's going to hit it. He's going to hit it out. We're going to be down. And all those goofies that showed up to chant F Altuve, they're going to be like, I guess he showed us. Let's go to Matt and Melbourne on the fan. What's up, Matt? Not good, but like whatever. This too shall pass. But like tonight is the night. When we look back, I remember it was July 17th when I got off the roller coaster in 2023. Well, I made it to August 8th with this team in 2025. Sure, yeah. If you'll indulge me in some Mets conversation, let's have that hit. Mm-hmm. Oh, I talked about it a bunch, dude. Carlos Santana dropped the ball in right field. And also, Carlos Santana is not known for having a strong arm to make a perfect throw on the road in their building. And then also, they would have had to catch the ball and make the tag. Tyrone Taylor's the fastest guy. Like, I don't know, man. Bro, he put the brakes on. It looked like a cartoon. Like he had to brake so hard to stop. It should have been a walk-off. appearances. They've lost 3 games in a week on the back of Devin Williams. But that's why I said he's got hella job security. Because if I'm managing for my life, you're not about to get me fired. Right. But like, no, I mean, like, there's no repercussions for this. Like, there's no, like, he did what they wanted him to do. They had a conversation about it pregame, and they said, yeah, if it late in the game, we got to use him. That's a lane for him. Bullpen budget and our imaginary rest and our scheduled rest and our imaginary lanes tell us we can't do it. Thanks for the call, Matt. So here's the last time I'm going to go through this one with y'all. Remember, right? Remember this. This makes now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is laughable. We're like, I don't know. I'm lucky that I'm not like Evan Roberts has a incredible memory. Like, he can remember things so much so he's got a whole book, and like he scores games. I never scored a game, and I don't have a memory. There's some Yankee games I've been to, I couldn't even tell you what happened in them. So I'll forget this eventually one day, but it's fresh in my mind. Devin Williams blew this game last night, August 8th, tie game in the 10th inning. Okay. If you go back to Texas on Tuesday, Devin Williams also blew that game in the 8th inning. And that was Marcus Semien, Garcia, Jock Peterson, and then eventually it was Rowdy Tellez. So that's 2. And then if you go back to actually I'm like, do the Yankees not have this info? They have to have this info. They're there. They're the Yankees, right? That's who played. I also have to put on him letting Jock Peterson, like, bro, even the guys that are homering off you, they are dumpster juice. You're giving up homers to guys that, like, they're having bad years. They're not hitting home runs. They're not hitters. So I also got to put on him 3, giving up that homer to Jock Peterson, because like that, like, come on, bro. So if you add those 3 games, right, plus the Tampa Bay game at home, the last homestand, he blew a 2-1 lead in the 9th. And then the 9-9 game in Toronto, right, in the 8th that he came in, nightmare. That's 5. Then he had a 3-0 lead in the 8th against San Diego. That's 6. Then he had a 2-1 lead in the 9th against Toronto. That is the famous We Want Weaver night. That's 7. And then when we should have swept Tampa the first time ever, playing Tampa Bay in our spring training facility, named after George Steinbrenner, the boss, he blew an 8-4 lead in the 9th, and we ended up not sweeping them. That is 8 games on Devin Williams. Shame on the New York Yankees. Arrogance. Shame on the New York Yankees. Malpractice. No more. End it. Anthony's out on Staten Island. Anthony, you're on the Fan. Thanks. Thanks for calling in. Correct. Mm-hmm. No, I'll take it from there, Anthony. Thank you. And yeah, because they slump because it's just a culture of like, this is fine. It's a culture of like, hey, just come in, chill, do what you want. I'm not gonna rip you. You got it. You got it. You're a pro ball player. You'll figure it out. But even these pros need help. Even these pros need to prepare and need coaching and need sometimes you got to save these guys from themselves. I know that used to piss me off. I remember having a moment on WFAN because I went to the City Field and it was the Subway Series. And I told y'all as soon as they pinch hit Joey Gallo, I left because that told me that the Yankees weren't serious. You put the statistically worst hitter in a clutch position. It's stuff that no one would do. It's stuff that like children wouldn't do. Decision making that kids wouldn't make. And so like I don't know what they were going for tonight. Aaron Boone, I don't know what you were trying. Were you trying to achieve something? I know what you're trying to achieve. Because I remember being on, what was it, Wednesday after that, where there was the stat that now now Devin Williams has given up more earned runs in one season than he had in like the last 3 seasons or something. So I guess they just had to put the cherry on top of it tonight. I guess they had to make it so it's not a tie. The number was 26 earned runs. I'm trying to go back into my notes and find it. It was 26 earned runs. So instead of that number being even, Devin Williams had to top it tonight, and he did so. Tom is in Freeport on the Fan. Hello, Tom. Yeah, I'm off. Yeah, I can relate. Well, I'm not. Don't wake the baby. In my house, everybody was sleeping at my house. I'm glad. My cat, my baby, my wife, they don't even know what happened. They have no clue. And it, like, why do they do this to us, Tom? Why do they put us in these situations? It could be avoided. It should have been avoided. Yeah, because it happens multiple times a week. It could be Monday, it could be Wednesday, it could be Saturday. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, and the last one that sucks. I don't even want to verbalize it because the last year was trash. Thanks for the call, Tom. And shout out to your mom and your family and all the Yankee fans. That family members. Maybe you have a family of diehard Yankee fans that they're right in it with you. For me, I don't. I made myself like this. I did this to myself. Nobody put the Yankee hat on me. Well, my mom did once I started asking her to buy them. I took my mom to her first game. My wife is a Yankee fan because her dad made her one. But like she's obviously like she wants the Yankees to win. But if the Yankees lose, she ain't tripping like I'm tripping. She could go to bed just fine. Friday night. I was off last Friday, and I was in the bed convulsing as they lost that game 4 times to the Marlins. And she kept waking up like, this game's still on. I'm like, yes. Can you turn the game off? I'm like, no. And I was supposed to be catching Z's. I was supposed to be catching up on sleep last Friday. And then I ended up staying up till like 12:30. I was listening to the post game. I couldn't shout. How did it? I'm done. I have to protect my own peace. So yeah, I went and dug it up. Devin Williams, 26 earned runs, right? He had 26 earned runs as of the 2-0 loss Wednesday to the Rangers. That 26 earned runs this season tied his total from the 2022, 2023, and 2024 seasons. So as a Yankee, this elite reliever, MLB Network's #1 rated reliever going into 2025, this guy gave up 26 earned runs, and that tied what he gave up in 3 years. So I guess tonight, Aaron Boone said, oh, you're not done. You're going to top it. You going to top that. We didn't come this far to just be even. Devin, you're going to go out there tonight and you're going to give it up with Manfred's man on second, which we said we didn't want to pitch you with the inherited runner, but now it's different. And you're going to add 3 runs. So now, well, actually, with Manfred's man on second, you only get 2. So now Devin Williams has 28 earned runs given up, which is 2 more than he gave up in the last 3 years. Good job, Yankees. Moose is in Somerset County. I just accidentally hung up on Nick because I tapped the button right next to Moose. Nick, can you please call us back? I'm sorry. Moose, you're live. Somerset County on the Fan. It's weird, bro. So I'm going back just manually right now and looking. The 5th inning, it's just something I had a thought about. Like they've had 5-run 5th innings. They've had like it's like that middle point of the game. Trouble is on the way. It's like that's why I said, it, I know it, they know it, the opposing team knows. Like it's like when you get to that 5th inning, the starter's going to eventually come out. Mistakes are going to be made, and that is where the tide is going to turn for the Make It Happen Mets. It's weird. I don't know. They need guys that can go and pitch through the 6th, and there's only really one guy in the rotation that can do that. And yeah, it was just a bad inning, and like that's all it took for the Brewers at that point. Oh, 3 in the 5th. Oh yeah, we can close you out the rest of the way here, and they did. And so now you got to bounce back and win the next 2, but like. The Brewers are good, man. And that game tonight, like that's the one that the Mets I felt like had to get. I know it's Phillies won tonight. Phillies smoked the Texas Rangers, and you got to be kicking yourself because you even had the chance to tie it. And I saw the Mass Mendoza about putting Tyrone Taylor, and they didn't do that. And it's like Marte is not like he's not a speedster. He's always had some type of like leg injury. He just had a knee problem this year. I would have thought to get him off I don't know. It's too little too late anyway. But yeah, there's something about, I'm sure there's a Met fan. I got to go look. One of these guys that covers the Mets on Twitter probably has some numbers on the 5th inning and like what goes wrong outside of obviously the starter hitting a wall and them going to the pen. But it's like in the middle of the game. Yeah, that's when the Mets unravel. You can count on it. Yeah. Evan, I hope, is asleep, but I'll text Evan tomorrow. I'll be like, hey, I got a project for you, and you don't got to bring it on my show. Do it on Evan and Tiki. Just go back the last like 2 months and just specifically look at the 5th inning in your scorebook and like how many 5th innings can you bring to the table that we're just like, this is where the game turned. This is the Mets turning point, 5th inning, and it's happened like 10 times this season. Yeah, exactly. You got this super pen now. So, yeah, maybe that's the strategy they have to deploy. Maybe Mendoza's got to, I don't know, but then you're going to end up doing like essentially like bullpen games and you're going to tax the bullpen. And what do you do when this team gets to October? They got to get some length. They got to, I don't know. And then call the kids up. Thanks for the call, Moose. Call the kids up. See if one of these kids can at least like get lucky, right? Baseball, sometimes you can get lucky and have an outing where they get to the 6th, 7th. Yeah, I'm just searching Twitter and Frank the Tank had a tweet about how many, I guess he thought it was going to be 5 runs. How many 5-run innings how many 5-run 5th innings have the Mets had? And then there's some Mets starters as soon as they hit the 5th inning. Mets in the 5th inning. There's a lot of people tweeting about the 5th. So I wasn't on to something. This is a thing in the Mets world. Yeah, but it's really just people talking about the pitchers getting to the 5th inning. But no, it's more than that. It's the whole team. But I think it is a mental thing where they're all like, okay, here it comes. 888-808-1019. Okay, actually, we got Nick in Brooklyn back. Let's go right to Nick right now. Thanks for calling back, Nick. You're on. Good. My bad. I hung up on you, and I'm like, my thumb skipped. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. Can I add to that? I'm looking it up right now because I know as I was coming back, Andy Martino wrote something on Twitter about like, oh, certain guys were only available. Oh, he said Boone had nowhere else to go but Williams tonight. Bednar and Weaver were basically only available in case of emergency. That's an emergency. He had plenty of other places to go. He could have brought Luke Weaver out again. You can't tell me that you were painted in a corner to go to a guy that has given it up his last. No. And I don't know why Andy Martino's trying to make that up for him. Leiter not available. Like, no, they had a day off. It's insane. He's got 2 pitches. Yep. Yeah, sitting there. Yeah, Jock Peterson, Trammell, all these guys see that and they get it. Roddy Tellez, some of the worst hitters in the league. You're like, yes, can't wait to face Devin Williams. Yeah, and then he's yanking pitches. He had a wild pitch. Like, bro, stupid to go out like that. You let everybody down. And like these guys even rally. Thanks for the call and thanks for calling back, Nick. I'm riding away and I'm hearing like, Paul Goldschmidt, 10 pitch at bat. Goldie fighting. John Carlo comes, works a walk. Like, they're trying to bail him out. They're trying to bail his ass out. You shouldn't have to bail him out. Yep, Devin Williams, wild pitch. Like yanking his fastball. And Altuve advances. Like, bro, you can't be serious. Like, he is defeated. He is done. How do y'all not know that? And that's what I was saying last week. How do you not know Devin Williams is cooked? You're the manager. Don't you have a meeting with him? Don't you talk to him? Aren't you on the bus with him? Aren't you in the hotel with him? Don't you know that this man is broken? But you want to keep trying it again. It reeks of what the Yankees do. They did it with Clay Holmes last year. They did it with Zach Britton. They did it with Andrew Heaney. They will not stop. They die hard. I've been saying the same things for 4 seasons. They die hard what, folks? On their trades, their contracts, and decisions. Their roster decisions, the contracts that they gave out to people like Aaron Hicks, Luis Severino. Luis Severino is another one they died hard on last year. 2 years ago, because Sereno was a Met last year. They just kept putting Severino out there. And we knew he was BP. We knew he was throwing batting practice. We knew whether he was. And that's something else somebody said to me today. You think Devin Williams is tipping his pitches? He throws 2 pitches, bro. And neither one of them are cooking right now. He's cooked right now. But the Yankees, that's another thing. And I don't know. We might need a new drop. Nico, if you clip this, I think I said this before, but maybe I'll have something else to cut. So it's like, listen to Keith McPherson at night on the Fan. I had a drop where I was like, the Yankees aren't the last to know. They're the last to admit. They're the last to admit that Devin Williams is done. He's not the guy that he was. He can't pitch in New York. He can't pitch in high leverage. They are the last ones to admit it. They will lose another game. They will lose in front of 46,000 fans on Apple TV to the hated Houston Astros on a Friday night, a beautiful Friday night in August, in their ballpark. They will take that L with Devin Williams on the mound before they just call a spade a spade. 888-808-1019. Let's take a break here, and then we come back. I'll get right back to the calls, and I will get out of the way. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll be right back. I don't know where my charger is. My Mac was about to fucking die. Shit. Shit. Fuck. Yo, my MacBook was about to die. I don't think I had the calls connected. I'm going through it, bro. But yo, update. My live stream will be moving to WFAN YouTube channel next Thursday, or by next Thursday. Go subscribe there. Yeah, and I'm done. I'm not going to the game. I'm about to hit me a Pillmatic cocktail right now. I got 2 magnesium, 1 melatonin, and then 1 fat burn like sleep pill. Popping them Johns right now. You're good. Come in.
I know you mentioned it once before, right? I heard you, but if you want one more time in this last segment, do a little promotion for the old time.
Oh yeah. I did it early, and I'll definitely end with it. Thanks for reminding me, because I did it. I did it early when I said I wasn't going to the game, but it is important to let people know that.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moving on up. So like the people that watch on Twitter, which is most of this live stream, I won't be live on Twitter, but I will be live on YouTube, and then I think I'm going to figure out how to be live on Twitch. We're working on it. This stream came out of, my own just like ability. Like I'm paying for StreamYard, I'm live streaming. Like I would say this was born out of necessity. In year 4 of me doing the show, I'm like, I need a video component, I'm not the best looking guy, but I'm not the worst looking guy. I got a face for radio and a voice for radio, but I should be on video, feel me? So right here, subscribe to WFAN YouTube channel. I think Cam to AM on Thursday is what we're shooting for, like that to be live streamed. All right, back to the show. I was gonna go and actually like dress neutral, wear a polo, some shorts, and like pack a bag for later in the game to go back out, with the fans. And I knew I was gonna be tired, but I'm like, yo, I literally haven't been to Old Timers Day since 2015. I have my shirt that I bought off of one of the guys selling, like, in the Bronx selling shirts. I hustled a guy in 2015. He wanted 20, but it was after the game. I was like, I give you 10. I got it half off, 50% discount. I still have that shirt to this day. So I was like, all right, cool. 10 years later, I'm going to wear my Old Timers Day shirt to the stadium, but I could wear it wherever I go tomorrow. I could wear it to the pool tomorrow. And yeah, I'm pulling a Derek Jeter now. I understand. A lot of people had stuff to say about Jeter and his decision not to go to Old Timers Day. You were right, Jeets. It's not worth the flight up here. Stay with your family, bro. And I'm not driving right back to the stadium tired, run down. Nope. I'm just be with the fam. And I miss my kid and my wife. And I've been running. Like I told you, I was at David Cohn's golf classic yesterday, which was great. Roger Clemens is a man. Commands the room. His storytelling was great. I still have another video I got a clip. I love the video with him. I posted on my Instagram, Twitter, and all that, him talking about how, the players complained about the stools in Shea Stadium in the visiting clubhouse that they had to sit on. He said the next day it looked like they were in somebody's living room. George Steinbrenner had Yankee furniture delivered to Shea Stadium, had a whole crew pulling up with couches and recliners and stuff so those guys could be comfortable in there. The boss. The Rocket talking about how we could not lose that World Series. He's like, George Steinbrenner would have reverted back to like, those were the days, man. I was 11 back then, 12. Yeah, we've come a long way from that. The Yankees are not the Yankees anymore. I don't know what the hell this is, yo. I don't know what the point of this is. I don't. That one broke me tonight, guys. I'm off the roller coaster. I'll rah when they win again. I like winning, but I'm not gonna sell you a dream. I don't see it. I don't see them winning enough. I don't think just being the third wild card is good enough. We all like to believe that the season is long and anything can happen and you just got to get hot and at the right time. But like, they have so many players and moving pieces and parts that Aaron Boone has to manage. And then they also have so many teams that they have to face. The good teams are jockeying for their own position and fighting for their, their own home field advantage and division and wild card, whatever. But then the bad teams that they're going to face, where we talk about there being this light schedule, their strength of schedule, they got a light schedule. Yeah, but those bad teams are already eliminated. By then, they're going to be mathematically, they're going to just be playing for themselves, playing to, for David to knock down Goliath, and the Yankees aren't a Goliath anymore. You guys know how it goes. Somebody's going to be a Yankee killer from the White Sox. Somebody's going to turn it on because they're in Yankee Stadium and they're on TV from the Nationals. So as we want to proclaim that they've got the Baltimore Orioles for a bunch in September. Yeah, they very well could lose to the terrible White Sox and Orioles. And in the mix between them, you got to see the Tigers. You got to see the Blue Jays. You got to see the Astros. And in this month of August, you have to see the Astros. You also have to see them in September. In this month of August, you have to see the Red Sox. You also have to see them in September. You also have to host the Blue Jays again. So the way that these guys are so cavalier with their decision-making, the way that these guys make moves with their bullpen as if they've got forever and a day to make up this. Nope, we're good. This is fine. It didn't work tonight. It could have. You literally rather try to make Devin Williams work than to go with other options. After an off day, you have plenty of ways that you could have figured out how to get those 27, 30 outs, and you chose to lose again with a guy who's done nothing but lose lately, who's done nothing but blow it. And after that, like, you ever watch Shark Tank where, like, Cuban will give his take, and with all that said, I'm out. A day is in the Bronx on the Fan. What up, bro?
I mean, like, I don't know what it was. We all seen it.
He's not a high leverage reliever anymore, but they want to try and force a round peg into a square hole. They're trying to make something happen. They're trying to make magic appear. It's not there.
Yeah. And you said something about the Mets fifth inning. You know how things always change for us? It's the ninth inning. It's Devin Williams on the mound.
And that is demoralizing, bro. And, like, that's where we're at. We're laughing about it. But, like, imagine you're on that team. I know me when I play sports, bro, if I work my ass off tonight and I made some plays and I'm tired and I'm trying to win and I'm competitive, like, I'm mad. I'm high-key mad.
I didn't play college. I didn't play high school. I played Little League when I was in middle school, and I'm not a professional, but, man, I look and I see the roster moves, the bullpen moves, all these type of things, the lineups. So I'm just like, what kind of baseball is this,
They call it boonie ball. They call it boonie ball now.
Boonie ball. Oh, shit. That's not.
We gotta keep it clean. You can bring him back. We're getting late. They cussing on the Fan. I thought you said the S word.
No, that's not. I don't want to play boonie ball. That's all I said.
No, I thought you said, Chicago.
Okay, maybe it's my bad.
The SHIT word. Am I even allowed to spell it? I don't know. These kids, they can spell. They can spell now. Anyway. I'm gonna watch every game. Yeah, I like baseball. I'm a Yankee fan, but like, I think I have a responsibility and a duty as a fan with this microphone and this platform and this following. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the call and rocking in the chat, man. 888-808-1019. It's therapy. We need it. We got 2,300 people watching, and I mean this week is the end of my live streams that I'm hosting. I have been called up. We will be streaming this show live on the WFAN YouTube next week. We are working on it. Get KM to AM live on the WFAN YouTube channel. I think we got something like 77,000 subscribers. Let's get that up to 80K. And next week, your boy will be there. You'll get, if you don't know what I look like, you're going to find out. Brace yourselves. Oh, and also a reminder, another programming note, obviously with the live stream announcement that I just made, tomorrow, which is now today, some, less than 12 hours from now, tune into WFAN because we will have coverage of Old Timers Day. Yep. Right here on WFAN, 11:30 a.m. You gotta have the radio on. You probably have it on before then. But Old Timers Day festivities hosted by the lovely, sensational, great Susan Waldman on 660. And the Yankees pregame at 1:25. Dave Sims, Emmanuel Barbari, they'll be on it as well. There'll be lots of interviews. You don't want to miss it, because maybe one of your favorite players is going to pop on the mic, hop in the booth. I'm sure we have mic capabilities to go down on the field, and there's going to be a lot of the players from the 2000 team. So you Met fans, make sure you listen in too. You know who was great? Todd Zeal. Shout out to Todd Zeal, who was at David Cohn's Golf Classic. He was great, talking about the Yankees and facing the Yankees as he was a Baltimore Oriole, and then also as a Met and being in New York. And yeah, those were good times. So I'm sure at least we'll have a little bit of a break from Boonie Ball, from these participation trophy Yankees, from these bearded Yankees, these Devin Williams coddled like, oh, get him next time, buddy. You have some of these guys, and some of these guys will tell you how it really was. You'll have some of the real on the microphone. 11:30 a.m. Yankee fans, tune in. Mike is in Point Pleasant on the Fan. Next, what's up, Mike?
How's it going, Keith? Number one, I just want to congratulate you on the recent announcement on the WFAN streaming. I always thought you were like the, Joe Beningo is the Jets and Keith McPherson's for the Yankees.
That's high praise. Thank you.
You're the best, Keith. But my point is on Devin Williams, obviously. First time, long time, never called in before. But the Yankees booty ball, as you say, it feels like they ride the cold hand. In sports, they always ride the hot hand. Devin Williams has been terrible. Why are you riding this guy every night? And especially against the Astros, like 2017 still bothers me. And you can call me crazy, that's 8 years ago, whatever. That 2017 season still bothers me. Altuve robbed Judge.
Yep.
They robbed the World Series, all that.
Yeah, they cheated completely.
So why are we riding the cold hand
against them? Against them, I would. That's what I said, bro. I'm like, against that team, you can't go down like that. And what you're talking about, the Yankees are so arrogant. They're the smartest guys in the room. They know better than everybody else. We can fix him. Nope. We traded for Devin Williams. We're gonna see it through. Tonight's the night. It's never the night.
I know I'm just repeating what people have been saying, but the first time calling in, this really bothers me here. I've been a Yankee fan my whole life. 27 years old. I'm a young boy, but this is ridiculous at this point. Devin Williams is the cold hand. Like, ride the guys who are not terrible. Devin Williams has been cold. Rest him. Give him a break. Bring in the other guys who we just signed or traded for at the deadline. Like, what are we doing?
they will die hard on their own decisions because they are the New York Yankees. They're smarter than all of us, and they traded for this guy, and they're going to show us tonight's the night. No, it wasn't. Well, actually, it was. Like, tonight was the night that I actually said, oh, okay, bye-bye 2025 season. This is how they want to go out. Devin Williams is more important than all the other players on the team, all of those fans in that stadium, all of those fans watching. You're going to do this again? Okay, I got it. Copy. Fool me can't fool me again. Who's the fool? The fool or the fools that follow the fools? I'm not going to be a fool anymore. I'm going home, going to bed. And I'm not going back up there. Why? 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 Pete Hoffman is next. Thanks for listening to my show. I'm out of here. Good morning. All right, y'all. Get some rest, yo. Don't let the Yankees mess up your Saturday. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know that. We're moving on up. We're going to have a really live chat on YouTube. When they put the boy on the WFAN YouTube, pew! Only way is up from here. But y'all were the first. Y'all were the originals. Y'all were the early adopters. I've been doing this since February, right? So, like, some of y'all know that. Oh, I thought Hoff was next. I'm tripping. I'm so used to Friday Hoff being here.
So why?
My bad, bro. I would have queued you up.
Okay.
I'm fucking exhausted. I'm so tired.
I feel you, bro.
But now you got a joke to make. You can come in and.
Well,
where the fuck is Hoff?
Giants, I think.
Oh. I'm like, well, Hoff would never give up his Friday show.
Give me a.
No, they need him to produce that. They need him to produce that.
Give me the Bo Nix season. All over these fucking baseball teams.
It's funny. I was looking at Survivor Pool,